I'm Mr. Kelvin from Educare, Tanzania. Welcome again into our lecture session. And today we have presentation based on physics solving of the different Necta questions. So you are most welcome to our lecture session today. And today we are going to look on the Form 4 Physics Necta of the 2010 and the question number 5. This question I've got various parts. So we are going to look each part with its answer. So firstly, we will read all the questions which appears in the question number 5. After that, we will shift to the solution part where we will see how we can respond to different kind of the question which are being asked within the exam. So you are most welcome. Within the question number 5, the question part A, it has got two Roman, means Roman number 1 as well as Roman number 2. So Roman number 1, the question is stated that define the term astronomy and asteroids. So we have to provide the meaning of the terms astronomy and asteroid. But Roman 2 of the question is stated that is a scorpion a galaxy or a constellation? Give reason for your answer. Is a scorpion a galaxy or a constellation? Then you have to give reason for your answer. After that, we have part B of the question. And in part B, the question I've got two Roman, means Roman number 1 and Roman number 2. The question is stated that distinguish between Roman number 1, you have to distinguish between a planet and a star. So you have to provide the difference between a planet and a star. Roman number 2, the question is distinguish between a comet and a meteor. That was question number 5, part A and part B, but also we have part C of this question, where the question stated that which planet in the solar system is Roman number 1 closest to the sun? So you have to give the name of the planet which is the closest to the sun, but also farthest from the sun. Number 3, closest to the earth. Number 4, surrounded by rings. And the last, Roman number 5, the second largest planet. So that was the question number 5 of the Necta Physics 2010. It have got 3 parts, means part A, part B, and part C, and the question is well accompanied with different Roman, means question number 1 I've got 2 Roman, question number 2 also I've got 2 Roman, but the question number means part A I've got 2 Roman, part B 2 Roman, and part C I've got 5 Roman. So after looking the question part, let's shift it to the solution part, where we can see how we are supposed to respond for that particular kind of the question. And before we respond, we must look the background of the question. Why to look the background of the question? This will be important when we are going to respond for that particular kind of the question. To know the topic, the level of question will help us to focus much on that level and on that topic which we are tested within the exam. For instance, the question number 5 of the Necta 2010, the question comes from the Form 4 level, and topic which we are tested were elementary astronomy. And the question, I've got 3 parts. As we see, there is part A, having 2 Roman, part B, having 2 Roman, and part C, having 5 Romans. So when we are going to respond for that particular kind of the question, we will focus much on the topic of elementary astronomy. Why elementary astronomy? Because it is the topic which is being tested within the question. So we have to focus much, we have to remember, we have to recognize the knowledge, ideas which are found within the topic of elementary astronomy. So after looking the background of the question, if you didn't start the topic of elementary astronomy, don't worry. Go to our website channel, Educare Tanzania, subscribe our media. After subscribing, you will get more lessons to start, including elementary astronomy. This will help you to improve on your academic performance. After that, a little bit introduction. Let's see part A, means solution, which are basing on part A. And part A, students were required to, number 1, to provide the meaning of astronomy, and number 2 means to define the meaning of astronomy and asteroids. And Roman number 2, the students were asked, is a scorpion a galaxy or constellation? And you have to give reason. So firstly, let's distinguish, or let's define between astronomy and asteroid. When we say astronomy, is a science which deals with the start of celestial object, space, and universe as whole. So when we talk about astronomy, it is a science which deals with the start of celestial object, start of space, start of universe as whole. That is astronomy. And we say it involves observing and analyzing stars, planets, comets, galaxies, and other celestial phenomena to understand their origin, their evolutions, and physical property. That is astronomy. But within your question, you have to follow instruction. The question said, define astronomy. So you have to define and end only with definition. Other extra information will not awarded a marks. So you are supposed to end within the definition of astronomy, as we say, the scientific study of celestial object, space, and universe as whole. Those are extra information, which means when you deal with astronomy, we deal with observing, we deal with analyzing stars, planets, comets, galaxies, and other celestial bodies, phenomena, which so as to understand their origin, their evolutions, as well as the physical property. That is the meaning of astronomy. After that, let's look the meaning of asteroid. We say that asteroids are small rock bodies that orbit the sun, primarily found in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Those we call them asteroids. So asteroids are just a small rock bodies that orbit the sun, and primarily they found within the asteroid belt between the Mars and the Jupiter. We say that they are remnants from the Earth solar system and they vary in size from thin pebbles to about 1,000 kilometers in the diameter. That is the meaning of asteroid and astronomy. So Asteroid its definition is as we define above, and astronomy we see it in the previous slide. After that, we have to say if a scorpion is a constellation or is a galaxy. And if we say it is a constellation or a galaxy, we have to give reasons why Scorpions is a constellation or is a galaxy. You have to give reason. So we say Scorpions refer to the constellation Scorpius. Kwamba when we talk about Scorpion, we talk about constellations known as Scorpius. It is not a galaxy, but a constellation. So Scorpion, it is a constellation and not a galaxy. We say it is not a galaxy but a constellation, which is a group of stars forming a recognized pattern in the night sky. So Scorpion, it is just a collection of stars which form a definitive shape or pattern. We call it a Scorpion pattern. So it is a constellation and not a galaxy. We say that Scorpius is one of the zodiac constellations and is ill identifiable by its S-shaped pattern representing Scorpion. It contains notable stars like Hatteras and several deep sky objects, making it prominent features in the southern sky. That is a Scorpion. So it is a constellation known as Scorpius, and it is not a galaxy because it is just a group of stars forming a shaped pattern which refers to Scorpion. After that, let's jump to part B of the question. And in part B of the question, Roman number 1, we have to distinguish between planet and star. So we have to give the difference between planet and a star. Also, within the Roman number 2, students are required to distinguish between comet and meteor. So first, let's start with planet and star. We say that in this side, we'll look about the planet, and on that side, we'll look about stars. So we start with planet. We say that a planet is a celestial body that orbits a star like sun. So when we talk about planet, is a celestial body that orbits a star like a sun. But when we talk about a star, it is a massive, a luminous sphere of plasma held together by gravity. That is a star. So star is just a massive, a luminous sphere of plasma held together with a gravity. But also we say planet does not produce its own light, but it reflects the light of its star. So planet does not produce its own light. The only light which produced by star is due to the presence of reflection of light from its star. So we say within the star, kwamba star produce its own light and energy through nuclear fission. As you can see, the energy and light emitted from the sun is the result of nuclear fusion. But also planet, we say, typically has a clear path in its orbit, having cleared other debris. But star can vary greatly in size, temperature, and also brightness. For example, in part of planet, we have Earth, we have Mars, we have Jupiter, Uranus, and so forth. But within the star, for example, we can say Sun. The Sun is a star. After that, we have Roman number 2, which we are required to distinguish between comet and meteor. To provide the difference between comet and meteor, we say that comet is a small solar system body made of ice, dusty, and rock material. But meteor, the strike of light produced when a meteorite enters the Earth's atmosphere and burn up. Also, we say comet orbits the sun in an elongated path, but meteor, commonly known as shooting stars. Also, we say comet develops a glowing coma and sometimes a tail when near the sun due to sublimation of its ice. But meteor, it survives the atmosphere and lands on the earth. It is called the meteorites. And the last one is just the example between comet and meteor. We say that example of comet, we say Halley's comet, comet Neowise. But example of meteor, we say the Perseids meteor, Leonid's meteor. Those are examples. After that, we are having part C of the question, where the students were required to state which planet in solar system, Roman number 1, closest to the sun, Roman number 2, farthest from the sun, Roman number 3, closest to the earth, Roman number 4, surrounded by rings, and the last, the second largest planet. So let's start with Roman number 1. We say that within the solar system, there are various planets. But planet which is closest to the sun, we call it Mercury. So Mercury is the only planet which is the closest to the sun. So within the solar system, the only planet which is close to the sun, we call it Mercury. But farthest from the sun, when we talk about the solar system and the planet which is far away from the sun, is Neptune. Neptune is the only planet which is far away from the sun. But closest to the earth, within the solar system, the only planet which is closest to the earth, we call it Venus. And we say Venus is typically the closest planet to the earth. And number 4, surrounded by rings. We say Saturn is the most famous for its ring. So, but there is other planets which have been surrounded by ring, but the correct answer was Saturn. So other planets which have been surrounded by ring, there is Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, also have ring system. And the last one, we are required to give the planet which is second large in size. And we say second largest planet is Saturn. So Saturn is a second planet to be large. And by saying so, this mark end of our today lesson. Thank you for keep watching Educare Tanzania. Have a nice moment. Goodbye.